how do I start? What do I have to have in place first?
I love this. This is a fantastic question. Let me give you a little bit of context for my answer. So before you were talking about the different parts of the wholesaling business, and I probably scared some people off saying acquisition, disposition, marketing, transaction, right? When you're first getting started, you're doing everything yourself, right? Totally doable. Everybody starts there. That's exactly where I started. When I first started, it was my wife and I, and we were doing everything ourselves, right? As you grow, you can start handing some things off, but that's not where most people start. Most people start square one in the beginning. They're wearing all the hats. Now, to answer your question as far as what you should do, you have $7,000 to invest and you are just getting started. So to me, it doesn't matter if you're starting with $7,000 or $70,000 or $700. It really doesn't matter to me. Yes. So I recommend everybody to start at the exact same place, and that is by picking up the phone and cold calling, right? Getting sellers cold calling. The reason why I love cold calling is because it keeps your overhead low in the very beginning. You can get a dialer for roughly $150, $179 a month, right? You can get a list for around $500 and skip trace it and put phone numbers to that list so you can call that for sellers. And that right there, right? Just cold calling for 90 days straight is going to give you a 10-year education in sales and follow-up. So it builds valuable skills that you can then use later on to when you start to invest more in marketing and guarantee you're going to get the type of return you're looking for, right? So if you start out with cold calling, it makes everything else easier, and you start out yourself, you start making the calls, right? Then eventually after you get your first deal, you can then reinvest 20% of what you make into having someone make the calls for you. And so that way you're talking to sellers and making offers and focusing on the most important tasks. And then from there, it's simple to grow. You can just add more people if that's what you want to do. But that is the course that I recommend for everybody just getting started, because again, it keeps your overhead low and it puts you in contact instantly with a lot of sellers.
Cold calling.
Yes.
Okay. Where do I get the list to start cold call? What kind of criteria? Just touch base. We don't have to go into detail, but maybe just, the big picture.
Yep. So there are two lists right now that I highly recommend for people to call, especially in the market that we're in right now, where maybe interest rates a little bit higher and a lot of people are retiring right now, right? So the two lists that I recommend people to start with is number one, the tired landlords list. So what is that list and where can you get it? You can get it from Batch Leads. So the tired landlord list is great because it is landlords, so people that own rental properties, and they've owned those properties for roughly 10 to 15 years or more, right? And so these people are tired of tenants.
I was one of them last week.
So So you're probably tired of tenants and toilets, and you're like, So, and they're just at a point where they probably bought, having bought these properties, 10, 15 years ago, those properties have increased in value a lot, right? And just where we're at in the market right now, people are like, I missed the peak, and so I think I'm ready to cash out, right? I tried to time the market, I didn't do it, and so I just want to sell it, right? So those are great because there's not really a lot of emotional attachment to the properties, and they're all thinking in terms of money, which makes the conversations easy, right? Then the other type of homeowner or the other type of list that I'd recommend targeting is the senior owners list. Again, you can pull this inside of Batch Leads. And what this is it's a list of homeowners who have owned their property for at least 20 years or more, right? And they are just at the stage where there's some type of senior owner flag on the property. Maybe they're receiving senior benefits or something like that. But they're at the stage where they're looking to downsize. They've bought their house a long time ago. It's built up a lot of value. And that house is probably going to be the most expensive thing they could ever own.